Okay, and Ed, let me ask you, how do you know when you're there? How do you know when your mind is firing at 10 cycles per second?
That's a good question, Richard.
How do you know it? What is the feeling you get when you are thinking or acting at that level?
Well, the way that we teach it in the class and going through the class, when you get that feeling of deep relaxation, when you use your mind to cause your body to relax, you know you're using your mind in a way that you haven't used, not using alcohol or tranquilizers or something like that, but just your mind to relax, you're beginning to get there. We go through a specific process that we know because of his research and so many years of practice that it works. Eventually, you get to the point of doing things with your mind that you can't do with your physical senses, such as, I guess the worst problems that could face a human being would be a life-threatening illness or injury or something like that. They need help. The mind can detect those kind of problems, no matter where that person is, no matter what the distance is. So before you complete the class, you have many opportunities to detect information with your mind and then hopefully mentally correct the problem so that it will speed up the physical correction as well. When you do that, you know you're at some state of consciousness you weren't at before.
But is there a way to tell or to see things? Do you see things differently, perhaps? Is there a lack of judgment going on? Is there a lack of conscious effort to either accept or deny a certain thought? Or
yes.
thought
Richard, we need to, first of all, like he says, find that dimension. And there's two different ways that we can scientifically prove that we're there. In other words, if you are conscious at 10 cycles, then you have learned to slow down to 10 cycles to be able to use the right brain hemisphere.
Are you breathing slower at that level?
You do. When you relax, you breathe slower, less oxygen consumption, and so forth.
Because when you're excited, you're palpitating and you're breathing very fast.
Right.
And very
you can still learn to be at that
down.
level even then.
Now, when the EEG, connected EEG, says 10 cycles, you're there. Now, you have reached your goal. Now, the final test would be, and the way we can explain it better is, we train medical doctors, and anybody can learn this, but this is their field, to be able to diagnose their patients at a distance without seeing them or talking to them, and be correct in the diagnosis, or we refund their money. Okay? Some call it ESP, extrasensory perception, effective sensory projection. That's the remote viewing we're talking about.
Right.
So that's the final test, because we give a person a name of a person who's away, hundreds of miles away, who has been injured in a car accident, and I want you to tell me how seriously hurt this person is, and we already have the report by some other in the file, and you tell us, then compare with the file to see how you came out.
Wow.
That's the final test.
And it's been tested and proven that
we've tested every student.
I have a notarized statement in the files from a doctor in Santa Fe, New Mexico, who one of our graduates diagnosed a patient. The doctor was having trouble diagnosing a kink in his colon, and later the doctor verified that that was correct. So it was even before the doctors knew. Our graduates were able to remotely view that and determine what the problem was.
So in this way, being able to slow down the brain frequency, you're able to kind of tap into a form of knowledge.
Into where the door is or the connection is to the right brain hemisphere, to become aware or conscious at the right brain hemisphere level.
Is this, and I'm getting into other things now, but is this similar to the concept of cosmic consciousness?
Well, Richard, cosmic means higher up, higher frequencies. Like we say, radio frequencies, television frequencies higher than radio, and mega cycles as compared to kilocycles.
Right.
Well, this is way above cosmic frequencies, means very high frequencies, but there's no such a thing. Just a matter of speech. Try to say the best there is, cosmic. You try to give it a name, but it's all they mean is being able to use your subconscious consciously.
I see.
That's what it is.
So it's being able to tap into the subconscious.
Some call it supraconscious or superconscious. The same thing.
Or wherever that information is, a lot of people give it different names, and nobody really knows, but they try to give it names so the left brain hemisphere can understand it.
I see. So we're really dual in nature by the fact that we do have a left and a right brain.
That's right, by camera.
Yeah. Well, loss of success number 2 says to obtain consciousness at alpha.
That's it.
And what is, explain that particular principle.
Scientists were thinking before we came on the scene, and this was proven at the University of Texas Medical School in San Antonio Health Center and at Trinity University. They were saying that you cannot be conscious at any other frequency except at 20.
Oh, I see.
And you cannot be conscious at alpha. And they say because if you are, as soon as you could have produced alpha in a state of reverie, but not an active mind. If you activate your mind, it was being called alpha blocking, and then you were projected to beta. They said, no, it's a matter of learning. We have to prove it to them. Then they became aware that it's true. We can be aware in two different brain frequencies now because of our discovery, at 10 and at 20 also.
Are there any chemicals or medications that are available by prescription or anything that can allow you to automatically enter into the state of consciousness?
No drug or chemical can alter. It will alter your awareness, but it's fluctuating. It's not fixed at any one point. So you cannot do something and repeat it something again because it never stops in the same place. Mm-hmm. It's always moving, always fluctuating. There's no way to teach anybody if you're running around in circles.
I see. So that's impossible. Okay, so law of success number 3 says to visualize and imagine at alpha. This is a law of success. How can we become successful by visualizing and imagining at the alpha
We need
level?
to know what visualization is because almost 90% of people don't know what that is. What to see? Well, actually, visualizing is to be able to detect the impression you have made on your brain with your mind. Mm-hmm. And your brain is like this screen. So whatever you see, you make a negative and place it in the brain. So when you look at the negative, it's visualizing. Mm-hmm. Now, all the other senses are by contact. This is by reflection. So senses by contact, you say, I remember how it felt. I remember how it smelled. But when you see, you say, I remember what I saw. It should be, I visualize what I saw. See? Because it's not by contact. So actually, you're sensing the negative. And when you describe in full detail and color the impression made by your sense of sight on your brain as a negative in the camera, then that's visualizing. See?
I see.
So we need to teach people what that is first, how to visualize. Visualizing is a detector mechanism. And imagination is a transmitting mechanism. Mm-hmm. Like sense of sight is detection, and your voice, speech, hearing, receiving, and transmitting. This is one sense. Now each one, in transmission of energy, right hand is transmitter, left hand is the receiver. For transmitting energy to somebody when healing,
Right. That's why they use both hands.
At each dimension, we have transmission and perception, reception. So there, visualization is the receiving, and the imagination is transmitting.
I see.
So we detect and we alter through imagination to bring about a correction.
So are you saying then in a way that if you imagine something hard enough that someone else can pick it up because you're transmitting that imagination?
In other words, if you are at, this is viewing is. Mm-hmm. Somebody's looking at it, writing it down and drawing it.
I see.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, so it's a form of transmission.
That's right.
Through the